Everything that could go wrong in one day went wrong. Alarm didn't work. Lost my keys, missed the bus, got fired. Phone died, wallet stolen, locked out of my apartment. I sat on the sidewalk at midnight thinking, this is rock bottom. Then a stranger changed everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to English Story Academy. I'm Jordan, and today I'm sharing the absolute worst day of my life. 24 hours where Murphy's Law took over completely. But this story has a twist ending that taught me the most important lesson about human kindness. The Morning from Hell. Last month, I had the day. You know those days where one thing goes wrong and you think, well, at least it can't get worse? And then it does. This was that day times 100. It started at 6 a.m., or it should have started at 6 a.m. That's when my alarm was supposed to ring, but I woke up to bright sunlight hitting my face. Something felt wrong. I grabbed my phone. 9:47 a.m. 9:47. I had a crucial presentation at work at 10 a.m. I'd been preparing for weeks. My boss, my boss's boss, and 3 potential clients would be there. This presentation could mean a promotion. And I was waking up 13 minutes before it started. I jumped out of bed so fast, I knocked over a glass of water on my nightstand. It spilled all over my phone charger, which sparked and died immediately. Great. Dead charger, almost dead phone battery, at 23%. I threw on clothes, didn't match, didn't care. Grabbed my laptop bag, ran to the door, turned the handle. Locked. I needed my keys. Where were my keys? I searched everywhere. Kitchen counter, number. Coffee table, number. Coat pocket, number. I was tearing apart my apartment, watching the clock. 9:51, 9:52, 9:53. Found them. In the refrigerator. Don't ask me why. I have no memory of putting them there. I ran out of my apartment, down 4 flights of stairs, elevator too slow, and burst onto the street. The bus stop was 2 blocks away. The bus came every 20 minutes. If I missed this one, I'd be impossibly late. I ran those 2 blocks faster than I've ever run. I could see the bus at the stop. People were boarding. I was half a block away. The doors closed. The bus pulled away. I stood there, breathing hard, watching my last chance drive down the street. The commute nightmare. Next bus, 20 minutes. The presentation started in 6 minutes. I pulled out my phone to call my boss, explain I'd be late, battery 8%, and I'd left my dead charger at home. I called anyway. Richard, I'm so sorry. I overslept. I missed my bus. I'll be there as soon as possible.
Jordan, the clients are already here. We're starting in 5 minutes. Where are you?
30 minutes away? Maybe 40 with traffic.
40 minutes. The presentation is your project. We can't do this without you.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm getting a taxi right now.
Just get here, fast.
He hung up. He was angry. Really angry. I'd never heard him that upset. I tried to get a taxi, raised my hand. 3 taxis drove past, all occupied. 4 minutes of trying, no available taxis. I opened my phone to call an Uber. Battery, 3%. The app was loading. Loading. Then my phone died. Completely dead. Black screen. No way to call an Uber. No way to call anyone. No way to know what was happening at work. I stood on that street corner and wanted to cry, but I didn't have time for crying. I started walking toward the subway. It would take longer than the bus, but at least I'd get there. The work disaster. I arrived at the office at 11:23 a.m., an hour and 23 minutes late. I took the elevator to the 5th floor, walked to the conference room. Through the glass walls, I could see Richard presenting my slides to the clients. My project. My work. He was doing it without me. I opened the door quietly. Everyone turned to look at me. Richard stopped mid-sentence. The clients looked confused. My boss's boss, Margaret, looked disappointed.
Jordan, thank you for joining us.
His voice was ice cold. I'm so incredibly sorry. I had an emergency this morning.
We'll discuss this after. Richard, please continue.
I sat down in the back of the room, humiliated. Richard finished the presentation. It went well. The clients seemed interested. But it should have been me presenting. This was my moment, and I'd completely ruined it. After the clients left, Margaret called me into her office.
Jordan, this is unacceptable. This presentation was your responsibility. We gave you this opportunity because we thought you were reliable.
I am reliable. This was a one-time mistake. I overslept, and then everything went wrong.
I don't want to hear excuses. This was a crucial meeting. We needed you here, and you weren't. I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go.
The words hit me like a truck. Let you go. Fired. I was being fired. Please give me another chance. This will never happen again.
The decision is final. Please clear out your desk. HR will be in touch about your final paycheck.
I walked out of her office in shock. Fired. I just lost my job because my alarm didn't go off. The afternoon gets worse. I packed my desk in a daze. 3 years at this company, gone. My coworkers avoided eye contact. Richard didn't even say goodbye. I left the building carrying a cardboard box with my belongings. It was 1:30 p.m. I'd been awake for less than 4 hours and had already lost my job. I needed coffee. I needed to think. I walked to a cafe, ordered a large coffee, and sat down at a small table. I pulled out my wallet to pay. Wait, this wasn't my wallet. This was my old wallet, the one I stopped using months ago, empty except for an expired gym membership card. My real wallet, with my credit cards, my debit card, my cash, my ID, was sitting on my kitchen counter at home.
Sir, that's $4.50.
I don't have my wallet. I'm so sorry. Cancel the order.
The coffee's already made.
I know, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I left the cafe, humiliated again. No job, no money, no phone, no way to get home except walking. And it was starting to rain. The evening collapse. The walk home took 2 hours, in the rain, carrying a cardboard box that was slowly disintegrating from the water. By the time I reached my apartment building, I was soaked, exhausted, and the box had fallen apart completely. My belongings were scattered on the sidewalk. I gathered everything, went to my building's entrance, and reached for my keys. They weren't in my pocket. I checked my other pocket. Not there either. I'd left them on my desk at work. At the job, I no longer had. At the building, I could no longer enter. I sat down on the wet sidewalk, in the rain, surrounded by my soggy belongings from my former job, locked out of my own apartment. It was 7:30 p.m. This was it. Rock bottom. The worst day of my entire life, and I couldn't even get inside my own home. I sat there for a while, just letting the rain fall on me. What else could I do? My landlord lived across the city. My spare key was with my friend Emma, who was traveling for work this week. I had no phone to call anyone, no money to get a hotel, nothing. The turning point. That's when I heard a voice.
Are you okay?
I looked up. An elderly man was standing there with an umbrella, looking concerned. He lived in my building. I'd seen him before, but never spoken to him. Not really. Lost my keys. Lost my job today. Lost everything, actually.
You live here? In this building?
Yeah, 4th floor, but I can't get in.
Come with me.
He led me into the building lobby and asked,
What's your apartment number?
4C. I'm in 4D, right next to you. Come up to my apartment. You can use my phone to call a locksmith and get out of this rain. I followed him upstairs. His apartment was warm, cozy, full of books and plants. He handed me a towel.
Dry off. I'm Robert, by the way.
Jordan, thank you so much.
Rough day?
And I told him everything. The alarm, the keys in the fridge, the missed bus, the dead phone, the firing, the wallet, all of it. He listened patiently, nodding. When I finished, he said,
I'm going to tell you something. I lost my job 30 years ago. Worst day of my life. I thought my world was ending. But you know what? That worst day led me to start my own business. Best decision I ever made. Sometimes what feels like the end is actually a new beginning.
right now, it just feels like the end.
I understand. But tomorrow, you'll wake up. The sun will rise, and you'll have a chance to figure out what's next. For tonight, let's solve the immediate problems. Use my phone charger. My old phone might fit yours. Call your landlord about the keys. And I made too much dinner anyway. You're welcome to join me.
The unexpected kindness. We charged my phone. His old charger worked. I called my landlord, who said he'd come by with a spare key in an hour. Robert insisted I stay for dinner, homemade pasta with vegetables. We talked while we ate. He told me about his life, his career, his family. I told him about my goals, my fears, my dreams. This stranger who I'd lived next door to for a year became a friend in one evening. When my landlord arrived with the spare key, Robert helped me carry my damaged belongings to my apartment.
Jordan, tomorrow's a new day. Rest tonight. Deal with the job search later. And if you ever need anything, advice, a phone charger, or just someone to talk to, I'm right next door.
Thank you, Robert. You turned the worst day of my life into something bearable. I can't thank you enough.
That's what neighbors are for.
The lesson. Daily routine and disaster. English. Let me share the vocabulary I learned from this terrible, wonderful day. Morning routine. Vocabulary. Alarm clock. Device that wakes you up. Oversleep. Sleep longer than intended. Running late. Behind schedule. Rush. Hurry quickly. Miss. The bus or train. Fail to catch transportation. Work disaster phrases. I'm running behind schedule. Politely saying you're late. I apologize for the inconvenience. Formal apology. There was an emergency. Explaining urgent situation. Let me explain what happened. Requesting chance to clarify. This won't happen again. Promising improvement. Being fired vocabulary. Let go /fire - lose your job. Clear out your desk. Remove personal items from workplace. Final paycheck. Last payment from employer. Unacceptable. Not meeting standards. Give someone another chance. Allow opportunity to improve. Problem-solving phrases. I need to figure this out. Solve a problem. What are my options? Asking about possibilities. Can you help me? Requesting assistance. I'm in a difficult situation. Explaining predicament. I appreciate your help. Thanking someone. Asking for help. I'm locked out. Can't access your home. Can I use your phone? Minus requesting to borrow device. I'd really appreciate it. Expressing gratitude in advance. You're very kind. Complimenting someone's generosity. I owe you one. Promising to return the favor. Difficult day expressions. Everything went wrong. Multiple problems occurred. It's been a rough day. Informal way to describe difficulty. I've had better days. Understated way to describe bad day. What else could go wrong? Rhetorical question about bad luck. Things can only get better. Optimistic perspective. What really changed? That terrible day taught me something unexpected. When everything falls apart, you discover who you really are and who's really there for you. I was so focused on my career, my routine, my schedule. I never talked to my neighbors, never asked for help, never built a support system. It took losing everything in one day to learn that human connection matters more than any job or routine. The next day, I woke up unemployed, but somehow hopeful. Robert's words stayed with me. Sometimes what feels like the end is actually a new beginning. I spent 2 weeks job searching. Robert helped me practice interview questions. He reviewed my resume. He shared his own career advice. I got 3 interviews, 2 offers. I accepted a position at a company with better culture, better pay, and better work-life balance than my old job. Last week, I invited Robert to dinner at my apartment to celebrate my first month at the new job. I cooked pasta, his recipe.
See? New beginning, just like I told you.
You were right. That worst day led to something better. But I learned something else too.
What's that?
That asking for help isn't weakness. That neighbors can become family. That kindness from strangers, or from neighbors we never talked to, can change everything. Now I know most of my neighbors in the building. I check on Robert every week. When someone new moves in, I introduce myself and offer my phone number in case they ever need help. Because I learned bad days happen to everyone. But we don't have to go through them alone. If you enjoyed this story and learned something about handling life's worst days, please like and subscribe to English Story Academy. Next week, another story about unexpected kindness in difficult situations. Until then, remember, your worst day might lead to your best opportunities. Ask for help. Be kind to neighbors. And always, always charge your phone before bed. See you next time.